It's an honor to be part of this August gathering of grand opening of the IGC Foundation. I remember that when we discussed about this founding, discussion with Ms. 𝐋𝐚𝐮𝐧𝐜 and Mahmood Rahman, we have chatted actually that what is this body is going to be. And they were talking to me that, well, this is going to be pretty much focusing on the youth, the transformation of the youths, because they have clearly identified that the youths are the main focus, and in order to transform the tomorrow, we need to focus youth. Other than youth, there is no other choice. Let me remind you one of the New York Times, feature in 2016. The feature was about the world has a problem. There are too many youths. This world has a problem. There are too many youths. That was identified in the New York Times feature in 2016, when the cautions were actually given to many of the nations across the world, those who had actually the youth focus and youth concentrated geographies. In 2019, again, the UNICEF has given warning to India that half of the Indian children, young youths, will be unemployed. Educated young youths of India, half of them are going to be unemployed by 2030. So we can imagine where are we when India got the warning. And India today, they also announced that things that Indians need to be very cautious in terms of giving the knowledge, education, and focus on also the skills-based training or education. Other than the India will be deep into trouble. So today, when I saw that, well, empowering youth, we all are actually trying to focus in a very right direction. We have to empower youth and then transforming tomorrow. Where are we and what is the current state of the world? Again, New York Times or Wall Street Journal, I believe, there was one feature, was so interesting. They were talking about robots are losing jobs to robots. That means the smart robots are taking the jobs of the unsmart robots. And that is the state of the world that we are living right now, in an integrated world where technology has embedded and converged in every sphere of our life. And life in the upcoming future is going to be very challenging. I'm telling it to my young youths, not the dignitaries and the young youths, those who are sitting behind. They have to understand that what kind of world they are actually heading towards. It's going to be a very complex and challenging world for you all. Understanding that, well, we are living in a world where 8 billion people is actually there. And this world is going to be very complex, very difficult for many of us, most of us. Because in one side we have seen the advancement of technology. The other side, this world is going to be very, very difficult until it reaches to 11 billion people. When the 11 billion people are going to come to this planet Earth, the world is going to, at that time, the world is going to take the load, and then they are going to be swing. Otherwise, they are not going to be able to manage those things, whatever we see in the job market, because the future is a jobless future is coming for many of us, most of us. So how you are going to survive? That's what is important. And I think here is the role of IGC, that they are going to be focused heavily on youth empowerment, and then the research that you would like to do, or anything and everything that you would like to understand, that giving proper education with a skill set that we are heavily trying to embed in our country. But unfortunately, my predecessor, the speaker, he has said that, well, there are enormous problem of our structural, deficiencies and problems and issues in the education system of our country. This country's education system has to be dismantled to some extent. If it is possible by us, even to make many things obsolete and throw them out and then refurbish, rebuild, and then change things every day. And if otherwise you will not be able to sustain. Because today morning, the first meeting that I had to go to the Ministry of Education, a very fruitless meeting, in the sense that while they were actually sorting out the teachers, their primary school teachers, they are going to give one single individuals from the nation to identify that the best teacher of the country, and they have the criteria for the primary teachers, that what was their result when they graduate actually. When you are looking towards a nation, that they are actually considering the result of a successful teacher who is going to be given a gold medal or a crest or something, that the results, the academic credentials, anything and everything in the whole nation, that you are going to search out one best teacher of the nation, then you have a problem. You have a problem that you do not understand that finding out from needle searching from a haystack is a difficult thing for us to find out someone who is truly exceptional, who is actually somebody that we would like to find out that he is a change maker, who changed a primary school in a remote corner of Bangladesh, who actually has done great job in terms of changing the fate of some of the student in the primary school, who has become eventually a good teacher or good professor or good researcher. That teacher needs to be identified, not a best teacher, based on their results that the teacher has got 25 years or 35 years back, he has passed his HSC or SSC, and you are still counting that things, and you are going to find out somebody who is good. So the nation has problem. This nation has problem. This nation has problem in every sphere of our domain of thinking. We have to change the thinking power of this, thinking power. The alternative thinking has to come forward, so that we see that everything will be flip over, and that flip over will take the nation to the right direction. And if you do not flip, if you go with the line, the way the earlier thought process was there, and you are going to think that way, this country will have or will be drifting again to the ultimate destination that we do not know that where we are going to be. So I think there is great importance for scales in the upcoming world, because you know that while technology has converted, many of you, most of you, are actually in line with having a smartphone in your pocket. The most powerful device that you are carrying in your pocket, but you are not focused in terms of actually using those powerful devices for knowledge gaining, nor even you are actually using that powerful device that is truly very influential in terms of making yourself an entrepreneur, or giving you an opportunity to do a business, or giving you opportunity to sort out things for your own career so that you can shine and you can help also other. You can create platforms so that you can see that while other people are going to get benefit out of your expedition of searching technology and facilitating other people to help or to devise something in terms of creating a software, or even innovative and creative ideas to be amalgamated with the technology. And that's where we are not there. We see the young youths, because I am in the university, so, and I'm always with the young youths, and I see that while young youths are actually, they are in the completely in opposite direction. They use this powerful device only for social media. They use this powerful device only for connecting or communicating device, that this is what is actually designed for you to communicate with each other, and floating things unnecessarily for the social media that creates even noise in the society. So young minds has to understand that you are living in a world where classroom education has failed, not only here in Bangladesh, it is everywhere. I think many of you need to read a book called Humanizing the Education Machine. That was actually about American education, how the primary schooling and the education as a whole has failed in terms of across the world, because technology and other thing is actually taking us over there, and therefore the classroom education has gone down to anywhere and everywhere. So Now the world that has come in front of us is going to be very world that individual can change and shape their own career, so that we can actually guide them in that direction. And that's why in Bangladesh it is essential for us, apart from the classroom teaching, we are going to be actually giving them guidance that, well, this sort of skills are very important. Skills helps you apart from your classroom education. Let me give you one simple example that we tested with a JICA funded project at North South University. We gave training to 429 students in our campus along with their bachelor degree and plus some skill. These 429 students, out of which 284 got jobs in Japan, more than 3 lakhs taka salary. So the question is, are you truly adding value in line with the value addition that you are supposed to do? Or you are thinking that, well, eventually your certificate with golden CGPA and that results will take you somewhere. Unfortunately, the world that we are heading is not the world that you are going to place yourself with a result. It's the world that you are going to be placed with your skills and what you know, and can you or will you be able to demonstrate that things. If you do not focus on that way, you cannot actually become somebody who is going to be a distinctively different than others. And if you are a common thinker, common graduates with all certificates full of files, and you are going to hang around in Motijil for looking for a job, the job is not going to come towards you, because the landscape of the job, corporations and industry floor has changed, and therefore it is very important for us to even guide on that direction. Here I would say that, well, this kind of foundation, they should lay down that how would we be able to guide the young youths, those who have potentials, those who have patience for something that they want to gain in terms of knowledge. These sort of knowledge we have to give, to our young generation, and then you will see that, well, Bangladesh is going to flourish, because the academic institutions that we talk about, the academic system that we talk about in our country, it is already a failed, You see that last week there was a big news, the Bangladeshi 12 grades aptitude level is, the global level of learning is 7.5 grades. So no matter what grade that I am in, whether it is masters minus 4.5, where do I exist, I have to understand that my ability of thinking, my ability of crossing the ideas, my ability of looking into something in a different way, and my ability also resolving the issues that are important for the current state of the world that I am living is something different. And if I am not at par with the global advancement, we will be nowhere. And you will see that uprising, the way in July 24 that had happened after a long time, this sort of uprising is going to come back again in this country, maybe not in a very quick and fast time, but it will come again and again if you cannot resolve the issues that are actually pertaining to youth. Youth lost their opportunities. Youth lost their, any kind of opportunities they were seeking, whether it is admission or it is job. Youth has always been losing their, their part, and therefore these are the things that are going to come even in a greater mode. And you will see that, well, you will be dissatisfied because you are living in a society, in a country where country is segregated. This is a very bipartisan and segregated country in terms of all sphere of our thinking and designing process. We really need to actually bring everybody in the plate so that we can see that, well, each of us, all of us can float around in the society and community with the same kind of thinking and advancing our nation. So with all this, again and again, thank you very much for having me also, and I'm so very happy to be part of this great, platform. Thank you very much.